You're watching All To Play For, brought to you by Joe and Coral.
Welcome to All To Play For, brought to you by Joe and Coral, with me, Adam Smith, and Joe Cole. Joe, nice little booze you've got in, mate. Thanks for having me.
Nice, isn't it? It's you know, old school.
It is, isn't it?
Everything you need.
Yeah.
You know. And with our guest on this week, I know he likes a boozer, so
perfect. We'll come to our guest very shortly. Top guest that we've got. Summer Euros.
Yeah.
Have you got over the penalties yet? I'm not over it yet. I've got to be honest, but I was so proud of that England team.
yeah, like Smithy, so proud. I went to the semi-final and the final, and actually the semi-final was the best experience I've had as a fan or a player at football. I was getting choked up. I was
Yeah, me too.
emotional. I was like, as the songs were going on before the game, I had my kids with me. And I was like, I had to keep going to the toilet to compose myself. So I can't be like bursting into tears. I thought, this is amazing, like, especially after the year we'd had.
Yeah.
Like, I was proper like in it. And then the final was a little bit different because of the trouble.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I think we just got a bit excited as a nation, but still it was amazing. And the boys just like I said it afterwards, like they're heroes now.
Yeah.
You know, certainly to my children and to me. I thought they were brilliant, and all of them, you know, from a man, every single one of them through the squad. So, not got over it, but mate, I'm so excited now, looking for the World Cup.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It was one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced in the semi-finals, like a carnival. And let's bring our guest in, super guest this week that we've got, Joe, former teammate of yours, of course. I've got a plethora of stats about this man in front of me. A legend at City, title winner at Chelsea, of course, 2 FA Cups, England International, 2010 World Cup. It is Shaun Wright-Phillips. Shaun, how you doing, mate? Great to have you with us.
I'm good, Smithy. How are you? What's happening, Conch?
Mate, do you know what I mean? This guy,
Go on.
I couldn't have a better guest. Honestly, I've known Wrighty since we were like playing against each other.
Yeah.
14, 15, like, and yeah. We've got some stories. We could have 5 podcasts.
Do you know what? I gathered straight away that you two are very close mates. I know that you've played against each other, with each other, but there's a bit of a bromance going on between you two.
Yeah. I mean, the connections go back. Like, even I played with his dad, like at West Ham.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and it was all, as we was coming through, it was always like myself and Shaun Wright, and then we didn't actually play with each other until the 21s, and like we just, you know, like, as well, not just. You get on with someone off the pitch, but on the pitch, I love playing for him, playing with him. Remember 2008 when I think was your best time at Chelsea, the best season, when you was playing sort of right over 3 in midfield, and I was playing, like love playing with him.
I'll just give you the ball.
Honestly, he's one. So there's, I think I've mentioned his name, but there's certain players that you like playing with. Right, he was one of them.
It's a great start. Shaun, a similar question really. Your memories of playing with Joe, could be on or off the pitch. Any nice stories you got for us?
It's just always brilliant. Like he said, for me, getting on with somebody on the pitch, getting along with them is normally easy because football's a universal sport and you both want to win, so you both fence in the same way, drive in the same way. But off the pitch, it's not always the case. But when we was at Chelsea, it seemed like everybody got on. We all went the same direction. And we all love to drink together as well, which made it easier.
It's funny you should say that, Shaun. You mentioned Chelsea, you mentioned like a drink. You were in Belfast this week, Joe, watching Chelsea. How was that experience?
It was fantastic. It was a great... First of all, a big shout out to the people of Belfast. There was a lot of love for the podcast there. Steve McManaman, like, he's love Macca.
Yeah.
But he can drink, man. He was like at the bar, because you do your job, you do the media, do all your commitments, and you go for a meal and have a drink.
Yeah.
And it was a great time. We had a really, really good time. The people, I did the George Best tour, which is fantastic, right?
I've done that actually. It's class, isn't it?
Yeah, but this they've stepped their game up as well. The government have bought his house, which you grew up in. Yeah. And they've turned it into like a museum for him, like, and it's literally like stepping back in time.
Yeah, I've been there as well. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Totally agree. It's worth seeing.
Like, when I walked in there, I felt like you, I don't know, like you felt like you just wasn't. You had the energy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether it's because it was George Best, the way it was done. It was the weirdest.
It's quite a unique experience as well, isn't it? Because it's his house. Yeah. That's the museum. Did you find that? Did you go to the Titanic Museum as well while you're there?
I didn't manage to get to that, but I've gone to the geezer. We've got there, and I've gone, all right, mate. First thing, whenever I go to a new country, I get in the car. All right, what should I go and see? He went, well, you know, Giant's Causeway. Yeah, I sort of know that. He went, oh, and they I said, he said, we built the Titanic over there. Yeah. He said, yeah, fancy the best shipping yard in the world. I went, well, mate, listen, not that good, did he? He got really offended. He weren't on the banter. So there you go.
Right, we are here to talk not about the Titanic in much more depth. We will talk about the Premier League. The Premier League is back, Shaun. How excited are you for the return of Premier League football, mate?
I'm really excited. Obviously, the last 15 months prior to the Euros was a long whole season. It was like 2 seasons rolled into one, but to finally have it back and seeing the buys that are happening and the teams that are strengthening around the teams that possibly should be an aim.
Yeah.
It's looking like a very interesting season.
And of course, the last few weeks is a time when you'd usually be doing pre-season. I imagine that's not something that you missed, Joe, the pre-season, the bleep tests and all of that.
Nah, we wasn't a... I never... Do you know, I think I was one of the worst pre-season players.
Really?
It took me a long time to get... I don't know what I'm saying with Wrighty.
Yeah.
Even if I looked after myself in the summer, I just don't know if it was rhythm or what it was. Some players would come back, and Sean's eldest just had a great pre-season with Man City. The young players seemed to come back and hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I just remember it was always a grind, and I couldn't wait for the season to start.
Let's look ahead to it then. Favourites, who do you think, with all the transfer business, we're going to look at the transfers, the individual transfers in more depth later on, but looking at it on paper with the signings, who are you tipping?
I think I'm still going to go City 1, Chelsea 2. And I think Man United sneak just above Liverpool for me.
Really?
Yeah. I think everyone's strengthening the squad. So I think Liverpool, no matter what players you've got, the two of their best players are going to be away on African nations some part of the season as well. Who are they replacing them with? Do you know what I mean? That's two of their all-time scorers.
Right. When the window shuts, would you still put City above Chelsea if they don't get Harry Kane? Would you? Because I think that's...
No, I don't think I would. But for me, I don't think it's necessarily about just getting Kane. I think they need a striker that's going to score them goals. Do you know what I mean? It could... For me, it sounds stupid, but Lacazette is somebody that Man City creates so many chances. And he's always in the box, do you know what I mean? Just to give the centre-backs something else to think about. Because, with most of City's fake nines or false nines... They drop into holes, so they never really go the other direction. And I think that striker mentality changes everything.
Who do you look at as favourites, Joe? It's a lot of business been done, isn't it? We're going to talk about the transfers in a bit, but it's a tough one to pick this season.
For me, after watching Chelsea last night and Lukaku coming through the door, I can't see no holes in the team. I see strength everywhere. We're talking about downstairs when I was watching the boys celebrate afterwards, and you had like Thiago Silva, Chilwell not even playing. Reece James a little bit.
Good strength and depth in there.
Loftus-Cheek was there with his tracksuit on. Tammy Abraham, like, I know sort of somebody's supposed to be there. So Chelsea is so strong. I just think it comes down to if they get Harry Kane in the door, Man City, then I'll say Man City. If they don't get him, I think Chelsea.
Wow, so that signing is that big for you.
That
in
crucial,
terms of how it's for you.
I don't know what Wrighty thinks. Do you think if they don't get Harry Kane, say Daniel Levy sticks his toes in and they won't do it, do you think they look elsewhere, or do you think they go with what they got?
Good question.
Personally, think Daniel Levy is going to stick his heels in. To be quite honest, I honestly don't see it happening. It's
really?
Too late. It's too late. It's getting to the point where it's not only too late for City, but it's too late for Spurs to find a suitable replacement.
True point that.
Yeah, so you let him go, and then Spurs are worse off because they can't. They don't have time to get the striker that they want to replace him. So I can't see it happening now. But Joe's point is so true. If City don't have a striker, then at the minute it looks like it could be in Chelsea's favour, but I'm a City fan, so I'm saying Man City.
Yeah, I like that. It got to City and Chelsea's two former clubs. Perfect for Shaun Wright-Phillips, isn't it? What about teams that are in trouble? I never like asking sort of the relegation question because it's a negative start to the season, but we do know that 3 teams have to go down. Shaun, who do you fear for this season?
I think Newcastle, for me.
Do you?
I think they were a bit lucky last year, and I don't think you can't ride your luck that many times in the Premier League, especially with, I feel the way the teams from the Championship come up now, they always have at least 1 or 2 of them that decide they want to stay up. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, but I think Newcastle could possibly struggle.
How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I can agree with that. With Newcastle, I don't think they'll get relegated, but I've got a feeling Crystal Palace may have a bit of another difficulty. It's because of the transitional period. They have 14 players out of contract.
Yeah, it's incredible that, isn't it?
Eze, who I think has been their best player. I think he's going to not be fit until after Christmas, apparently. So, new manager, Patrick, is coming in, and when you take over from someone as unique as Roy Hodgson in the way he plays, you know, and then he's going to try and put them group of players who've been like playing that for so long. I think he's going to find it tough. I think they'll just stay up, but I think it might be a difficult season for Palace.
Okay,
sorry, Palace fans.
Yeah, there we go. We've got some odds we can give you. Man City 4-6 favourites to win the Premier League. Shaun Wright-Phillips asked me to reveal that one. There we go. So you happy about that, Shaun?
Yeah.
Cole will give you odds of 10-11 if you think Norwich will be relegated. And how about this? Mo Salah 4-1 to be the Premier League's top goal scorer. His goals to game ratio for Liverpool is phenomenal, isn't it? That's another tough one to pick top goal scorer, isn't it?
Yeah, but that means he's got to score a lot of goals before and after the African nations because that's a big statement.
Do you know what? That's the first time I've heard anyone throw that one in. Because I remember at Chelsea when we used to lose, because we had a lot of African players and big players for us, Didier, Michael Essien, Mikel.
Massive players.
And we lost them for like, it seemed to be like 6-7 weeks, didn't we? I mean, we coped because we had a big squad, but I'm not sure Liverpool can cope with them two. You know,
how do you react as players when that happens? Because you go and go on, stay for this one, or it's tough, isn't it? Because you can understand they want to go and play for their country, but it's during the middle of a season. It's quite a rarity that.
I think players accepted it, didn't we? Because like
we knew what was coming, and we knew how to. We just got on with it. But I don't think, like Joel said, I don't think Liverpool have the depth to do that. That is the problem.
Yeah,
with people of that caliber to replace them and do what they do, even. People say Salah had a bad season last year. He was still racing for the golden boot.
Yeah,
I know. Do you know what I mean?
It's like, for instance, at Chelsea, Drogba. So 2010, we lost Drogba, and Anelka was like at the peak of his powers. So it was like,
that's not bad, is it?
Yeah,
you know, so I don't think Liverpool have got that. If they lose Salah, then who are they bringing in? Jota will fill in. Obviously, he does a good job, but he's not Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Didn't you find that with Liverpool last season a bit, that they had so many injuries to key players that you took Van Dijk, for instance, out of that team, you saw what a difference that actually made. Whereas, I mean, Liverpool's starting 11 is phenomenal, we know, but the strength in depth that other teams like City and Chelsea
100%.
have could stand them in better stead.
100%. I said it about 18 months ago, and I don't want to be an after-timer, but I said, look, Liverpool won't be able to sustain this like a Man City or a Chelsea will, because the strength of the squad was not good. And everyone was like, people thought Liverpool was invincible, right, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but the problem they had, Joe, is that they played the same 11 players for 3 years. They just never got injured, you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah. And that's a rarity in its own.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big players, lads, let's talk transfers. Now, there's a lot of transfers to talk about. It's been an unbelievable window. Yeah. So I'm going to start with Jack Grealish, again, because Shaun wanted me to start with Jack Grealish earlier. Joe, £100 million, 25-year-old. Everyone loves Jack Grealish. We saw the England fans in the summer. Thoughts on that signing and where that he'll fit in for your City team, Shaun? So your initial reaction, firstly, to when that was done and dusted, because it was bubbling for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was happy. Who wouldn't be happy to have like Jack Grealish in their team? Like that's a massive signing. I've said it. I'm going to keep saying it. I think for us and England it's the closest thing we're ever going to get to Paul Gascoigne. Yeah, on and off the field as a character and a player. That is what he reminds me of when I was watching Gazza growing up as a kid. Now I'm watching Grealish as an adult, and it's similar styles. And I think once he settles in to the way City play, I think he's going to be massive. The only thing he has to learn, though, is he's going to be not going to be used to not getting the ball when Jack wants the ball, sort of thing. Yeah. Because I had to get used to it when I came from Man City to Chelsea, because I was used to getting it like straight away, bang. But now that he's got to understand there's other players in this team that can do just the same, really.
Do you know what I was just thinking about that transition, Marty? What I felt. Did you find as well when you went to come to Chelsea, like the teams dropped off against us? So when you was at Man City, there was space for you to expose. And then we just won the league when you come, and then teams immediately respect you and they drop off. So you have to change your game. Yeah. Now West Ham, when I played for West Ham, it was like the game was back and forward. It was insane football we played growing up. Yeah. But that's a whole another debate, podcast. And then when I went to Chelsea, teams went, well, boom. So it actually suited me because we had a bit more possession and I would find little pockets and I could, you know.
But did you have to adapt as a player, though?
You do. And it's part of your development. So Jack will go through that period where he'll have to develop. I was going to ask Shawnee, where do you think he'll play in the system? Because my thing is, if you don't get Harry Kane, I'm thinking, does he play like the false nine, like what he done with Messi?
I think he'll do that with Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And he will switch. So it'll be like Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah. He will drop.
Yeah.
And Jack will go further forward because that's what they do with Bernardo, don't they?
Yeah.
One of them, they always switch that.
Yeah,
It's realistically, it's like you're playing with 6 midfielders.
Yeah.
And it works because they win the ball back so quick and then one just springs and they go.
I was going to ask you that, who misses out there? Because the options that they have in those sort of areas, your Fodens, Grealish, Sterling's,
Nobody
Mahrez,
really misses out,
Torres.
do you know what I mean?
Is it going to be a rotational policy? Because they're all going to want to play. It's going to be tough.
They play so many games because they get to the latter stages of every competition. That there's enough games to,
You can tell Wrighty's been asked this question before. He didn't like it. They're all playing. Leave it like, okay.
People always we're not on about Foden. I think Foden started 22, made 30-something appearances, and did he play enough games? Well, for a kid at that age to play that many games in a team like that, yes, he did.
So in terms of the Harry Kane debate, we touched upon it earlier, but do you think he will be playing for Spurs then this season or Man City?
For me, Spurs.
Do you?
I think he's a great striker, but I've also asked my question: does he play the City way? He doesn't press high, does he? And City press City's front three, press at least the first 10 to 20 seconds. They will try and win the ball back. That's a hard transition to come from not doing it for me for 3 or 4 years to then go boom at 28, 29 to just change your mind frame straight away.
That's a good point, actually. I watched Harry, and I'm his biggest fan. But the only thing I would counteract that with, there's no way Pep's signal Harry Kane without having a plan. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll you know what Pep's like? He's probably sitting there on the beach now, just sunning his bald head, thinking, right,
sunning his bald head,
going, right, this is what I'm doing, and I've got this plan, and it's going to blow everyone away at football, and then in 9 months' time, everyone's going to go, oh, that's amazing. That's what he does.
Because that is him, isn't it?
Basically, he did it with Cancelo, didn't he?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Fabian Delph played left back. Things he does, plays without a centre half at Barcelona. He played Yaya Touré at centre half, I think, at Barcelona. Who would?
Do you think that's a good point then? That if you don't get Harry Kane, like Joe alluded to earlier, that you might necessarily not buy a number 9 or an out-and-out striker. He'll make a system work like he has done in the past. Yeah.
That's the way. City don't really barter with clubs, do they? Really, they don't really get into bidding wars or anything. They say this is the price, either take it or leave it, and that's it. And that's part of the reason why I think Levy would just stick his heels in, because he'll just turn around and say, well, if you're not going to pay this, and he'll say, well, cool, you keep him then, and just get on with it. So the only person in all this for me that's going to be affected is Harry Kane. Both clubs are going to be happy whether they get him or they don't get him. They're just going to carry on with it.
I question the two situations. The Grealish transfer, I think, happened seamlessly. I think Aston Villa handled themselves fantastically well, but Jack handled himself well. You know, there was a clause in the contract. They all knew where they stood. The problem, I think, with Daniel Levy and Tottenham, I think there's a gentleman's agreement. Apparently, as you read, there's a gentleman's agreement between Daniel Levy and Harry Kane. And, you know, gentleman's agreements in football, they're not worth a tanner, because, you know, if Daniel Levy said, yes, we'll sell you, but there's no price fixed to it. So Daniel Levy can sit there and go, well, you know, as much as... and listen, Daniel will not feel no way about looking Harry Kane in the eye and saying, you're not leaving. You know, he's a ruthless businessman, fantastic businessman. You know, he is what he is, but Harry's now... He's going to have a decision. It's going to be a tough few weeks for him, because he's going to have a decision to make. He's not going to know his future. He's got no control over it. Daniel Levy will push it and push it and push it until he gets what he thinks right. I'm with Shawnee here. I don't think Man City are going to budge on the price. And I think Harry's going to be in a difficult position. And I think it's a case of maybe, I don't know who represents him. You know, there should have been a stronger negotiation on his last contract with specific, okay, you tell me you'll leave me if we don't win nothing in 2 years, right? If we have no silverware, this is the price, bang, all in writing and legal, because in football, with some certain nefarious characters who run clubs, you like I said, their word is not strong. You know, they'll do what they'll do what makes the most money for their club. They're not going to do what the fans want or what the right thing to do is. We've seen that numerous times with the people who run Spurs, you know, and I just think, you know, you've got to respect them on one hand because they've run a fantastic business, but on the other hand, it must be frustrating for Tottenham fans because there's nothing to build on other than the share price is going up and up and up, or other than the team on the pitch winning trophies.
Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see how that one does unfold. From one striker to the next, Lukaku just shy of £100 million, 97.5, I think it was, back at Chelsea. Joe, your thoughts on that sign? I imagine you're very happy with that one.
Delighted. We had a good chat with him, chat about him last night, and I asked Rio, I said, what's the difference in the player that left Man United? Because, you know, are you watching him? There's something different. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And it's aggression in everything he does. Even if he gets it now and pins someone and he does it with aggression. It turns, and it's a mad thing to say about someone who's 6'5" and built like a tank. But he's become aggressive with that as well. He's unstoppable. So I absolutely love it.
Sean, your thoughts on that signing?
I'm delighted for him and Chelsea. I think it's a great move for him and a massive statement from Chelsea. I think they're showing their intent. They're not settling to just be in the Champions League. They're settling to try and win the Premier League. And it's great for football and the club in general. But like Joe said, his maturity level, he's matured so much in the game that he's just showing he's like possibly one of 3 top
I was going to ask you that. Where do you
left.
think he rates, lads, in terms of best strikers in the world? You've got your Kanes, your Lewandowskis. Where does Lukaku rank in terms of best strikers in the world?
I had a conversation about this with like some of my friends, and they put like a list of players down, and there was like Kane, Aguero, Lewandowski, Rom, and Higuain. And I said to him, like, it's a great list, but there's only like 3 people on that list that actual play like number 9s. I said he's last of the number 9 generation at that level in a way. And something that City need as well is a number 9. Like, and you can even go as far as to say Liverpool need like a number 9 like that. That will hold the ball up, turn and get goals, as well as bring other people into play. And if you've got a team that keeps the ball and you have that focal point like a Didier Drogba, that's going to cause teams all sorts of problems.
Yeah, it's a top signing for Chelsea. Let's look at some of the other ones that have made some headlines. Ben White, £50 million. Is that I'll go straight to you, Sean, because why are you laughing? Because you've been quite vocal about the Ben White Varane sort of debate, haven't you? So talk to me about your thoughts on this signing, because you're a big fan of Ben White, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I think it's something that Arsenal definitely needed, that English mentality in the midfield, who knows how to kick the ball to Rose Ed, who knows how to put his body in harm's way, and he can play football as well. I think he's still got a hell of a lot to learn, but I still think my statement was that I just think he could possibly do better in the Premier League than Varane, based on the fact that he knows the Premier League. He's been at Brighton. He's had to defend numerous attacks, and he knows how to deal with the weight of playing every 3 days they played, and he handled it in his first season, really. Varane's coming to a whole new world that he doesn't understand, that there is no easy games. Even if you go to the bottom of the table, you're going to have strikers that will elbow you and try and get under your skin and get you sent off. So that was basically my statement, which got twisted.
Okay, there we go. That's great to hear. Joe, where do you stand on that? 2 top players. Varane, of course, World Cup winner, multiple Champions League winner. Ben White, though, a lot of praise for him coming through as in the England squad, of course. 2 good signings. I know United and Arsenal fans are having this debate online a lot whenever you look. Where do you stand on these 2?
2 good signings for wherever the clubs are. Man United are trying to get that little bit of something that takes them back into the competing with Chelsea, Man City, and Liverpool. And you get Varane, a seasoned winner, World Cup winner, Champions League, multiple Champions League, one of the most decorated footballers around. Yeah, that's a good signing for Manchester United. Now Arsenal, on the other hand, are in disarray. Yeah, you know, so I think they're going down the right route. Like you said, they're getting young English players, paying slightly over the odds for him, but that's because Ben White will have a sell on. It's less of a gamble, because if Ben White doesn't necessarily hit the ground running at Arsenal, it doesn't work for him, they'll still be able to sell him back to a Brighton in 2-3 years for a fee. So that's the business model behind that, why they've gone for Ben White. But I think he's a good player. I think he's what Arsenal need. So I think both of them, it's pointless which one's a better signing. Yeah. They're complete different types of player, different ends of the spectrum of their career. Both good signings for their clubs. And talking about good signings, Jadon Sancho, another one. I know a lot of United fans buzzing about this signing. How good can he get to? Because he's still only 21 years of age. Is he a Man United legend in the future, do you think? Are we talking about a player with that much ability, Sean? I think potentially he can do that. But Joe will tell you, like, as a winger, the first season, he might take it by storm. But then the second season, where
defenders start dropping off and you get doubled up on, you have to start using your brain, and it's something that he's going to have to learn quickly. But I think with his ability and the way he plays, he's given goals, his trickery and his creativity, he can go as far as he really wants to.
Dortmund fans love him, by the way. I was reading a piece from Dortmund fans that they were doing like a Vox Pops in the street, and they were saying he's been one of their greatest players they've had in the last 5-10 years. They absolutely adored him, and his numbers out there were amazing. In terms of adapting to a new league, how did you find that? Obviously, you played abroad, Joe. You both did. Adapting policy to a new league, different for him because he is English and he plays for England. But will that be take a bit of time, do you think, to adapt or not?
No, I don't think it will.
So?
I don't think so. I think Man United have a tradition of bringing great wingers, great skillful players. So I think he fits right into that. And I just think he's one of the ones I'm excited to see.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see him enough over the last few years. But you're right. You speak to any German, and they could not believe he wasn't starting every game.
Yeah, so true.
They could not believe it. And that's a massive credit to him and how well he's done out there. I absolutely love Jadon Sancho. And I think he's a fantastic signing.
How does it react? You played in huge clubs, of course. At Chelsea, for instance, that era when you were signing huge players. When a player like that comes through the door, a Jadon Sancho-esque, how do the rest of your teammates react to that? Do you think, I've got to up my game now, this brings us to another level? How do your players in the centre react?
Well, I tell you, when Shawnee signed for us, right? So I was in Barbados on holiday with my family.
Nice.
and you're sitting there, we just won the league. I had a really good season. I finished the season really strongly. And then they signed, Shawnee was arguably the one of the best players in the country at the time, in my position, I was playing on the right. So straight away I'm on my sun lounge with my beer.
I'm picturing it now. I've
got to go to the fucking gym now. Do you know what I mean? So I've only been here 5 days, and then fucking you do that. And then Wrighty comes in, and it all works out for both of us. We both play and everything. And then another year goes by, a couple of years go by, and then Malouda just comes in, and then Solomon, and that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
And you've got this competition, and it, with competition, I think footballers deal with it very well. Because we're great friends.
Yeah,
we're vying for the same position on the pitch, and you come in, you compete in. He wants to be better than me. I want to be better than him. Then you step out on the pitch, and when you're playing together, you're fighting together like brothers. And then there were times when Wrighty played and I didn't, and we had a great sort of. That's why we won things, because our team spirit. I was like, come on, boys, and then he'd play, and then I'd come on, and it was like, so that's the nature of what it's like at a top club, and you have to deal with that. And going back to Jack Grealish, he's going to find that. I knew if my performance levels dropped, it ain't long before someone else is playing, and I've got to go again. And Jack's going to have to adapt to that Man City. But I think footballers, our era certainly adapted to it very well.
Did he do an initiation? Right.
Oh, mate.
The worst
Let's
thing.
not even talk about it.
Go on. What did he say?
Just leave it alone.
No. There must be some.
He's not happy with this question.
The only problem is, back in the day, there wasn't. I just remember. It was so bad. Bread rolls were getting pinged at his head early before the
Welcome to Chelsea.
Before the chorus,
The worst thing about it is that Mourinho gave me an extra week to prepare.
I know.
What, just for your initiation?
Extending time.
Yeah.
I had to sing. I was like, oh man.
Extending time. What did you think? Go on.
John Legend, Ordinary Man. But it sounded like how I'm on the podcast now, just talking. It's just,
and does that one go right?
It was poor, man. You hear some bad ones over the times. Right, one was right up there.
Really?
He's right up there.
So glad I asked that. He is kicking me under the table to move on, so I will move on. We haven't mentioned the small matter of Lionel Messi leaving Barcelona to PSG on a free. I mean, even saying that sentence, Sean, just sounds mad, doesn't it?
First of all, what is the Spanish league now? I honestly, what's do you know what I mean? You watched it because of Ronaldo and Messi competition, then you're watching it solely because of Messi, and now it's almost like, who are Barcelona? But going to PSG, that front three can be scary. But like I said before, I still don't think they'll win the Champions League.
Yeah, you said straight away early on. Sean said they're not going to win the Champions League.
I'm with him. We had this debate last night, right? And it reminds me of the Galactico era of Real Madrid. Remember, they were just collecting names.
Yeah. Figo, Zidane, Becks, that era.
We did the Champions League last year, and I watched PSG, and I watched Barcelona a lot. Yeah. So Neymar, Mbappe, and Leo Messi, three greats, no doubt about it. I couldn't lace any of their boots. They were fantastic. But off the ball, all of them don't do nothing.
So you're talking about three players, the work rate and the pressing off the ball.
Like in terms of winning the ball back, they might be able to do it for 15, 20 minutes, but they'll go back to type, and they can't. It's a skill to be able to you know, what Pep does at Man City, where he gets Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Foden, Jesus off the ball at it, and that's why they consistently win trophies. You know, for me, it's a disgrace. PSG did not win the league last year. Like as much as with the players they got in that dressing room, that tells me as a footballer there was something wrong. I forget they got to the Champions League. They got their players, even without Messi. Unbelievable. Yeah. The only thing that I can think, Messi walking through the door immediately puts, if Neymar and Mbappe just puts them in a thing, right, okay, you know, we're the disciples, but the God's walking in now, and we're prepared to sacrifice ourselves for you and the team, then they can do it. But I think the ego's
not going to happen. That's never going to happen.
Wow. Interesting. Be fascinating to see the Champions League. I'm excited to watch PSG. Obviously, Ramos, Donnarumma as well. Some good signings, isn't there? But interesting to see how they get on.
By the way, Smithy, I might have massive custard pie all over my face at the end of the season when they win the Champions League 4-0. But my instinct is telling me that Pochettino is going to find it very difficult to get a system that they can play off the ball that suits the team, or they need to find 3 N'Golo Kantés to play in midfield.
Yeah. Well, then quickly, Shaun, who do you think, just very quickly, favourites for the Champions League? Then, if it's not PSG,
and do you know what? I'm going to honestly say, I think, especially with Lukaku, I think I'm going to say Chelsea at the minute.
Chelsea again, yeah.
Okay. At the minute, yeah.
Joe likes the sound of that answer.
I like the sound of it, but I'm going to say Man City because
just showing the love back to it.
No. That's not like. I'm not reciprocating the love there because, and here's my theory, right? Man City, I did the Champions League final, right? So I was with Jolie and we did the game. We went for a walk. I had my little boy with me and we went for a walk the day of the game and we're strolling around Porto, a lovely city, by the way. And we turned the corner with Big Jolie and I'm in the Man City fan park. Like, it must have been like 10:30 in the morning. And like Big Joe, you can't miss him. Like, so they fans and like I can't turn back. So anyway, they was absolutely bingoed, the Man City fans. Like they were lagging, right? And I was like, wow. Like anyway, they was very nice. You know, they could have given me a bit of stick, but they was good. I thought, God, if they're drinking now, they're going to be, you know. And I think they got so excited, the fans. The game kicked off. We got to the stadium. The Man City fans were in there early. Drinking. I was looking at some of them coming in and they was like, and then they got into the stadium early and then they're singing. And then the Chelsea fans started coming because they're used to European finals, things like that. And the Chelsea fans, the atmosphere they made was unbelievable. They was that, and I think the Man City fans blew themselves out. I think the team news come, Gundogan in, and everyone went, oh, that's, what's he doing there?
Surprise, wasn't it? Yeah.
What's he doing there? I think the Man City fans didn't bring the energy. I think the team that he picked weren't right, and I think the team, it just affected the team slightly. And I think the next time they get to a European final, Man City, I think they'll win it. I think that all them players will experience that. I think they took Chelsea lightly, the players. Pep would have thought he was gonna just be able to play that map, like,
just play the nice
dominate
football.
Possession. I spoke to the Chelsea boys, and they was you know, they were surprised with the team. So I think all the culmination, the club wasn't ready to win the Champions League like we wasn't in 2008 for some reason. I think the next time they do it, they'll do it, and I think this year might be Man City's year.
I hope you're right, Coley.
Well, let's give you some choral odds, Shaun, for this weekend's game. Grealish to score. You mentioned Grealish, Joe. You know Shaun's very excited about that signing. Grealish to score and get an assist in Sunday's clash against Spurs. Coral will give you odds of 10-1. If you back Jadon Sancho to score a hat-trick on his debut, you can get that at 100-1. That game's against Leeds, of course. So there's a couple of...
Who's the last player, Smithy, to score his hat-trick on their debut for Manchester United?
On their debut for Manchester United?
I'm having a gamble here because I think I know it. It was Rooney, wasn't it? Am I right?
Rooney did score a hat-trick on his debut.
Was he the last player? I can't think of anyone.
It's a good question.
Just throwing
on his debut.
At you there.
I know that Rooney definitely scored a hat-trick. Do you know, Shaun?
don't know anything. I'd rather not know anything about Man United.
There we go. Okay, we'll go on to the next section then, straight away. This next section, I'm very much looking forward to. I look forward to all the sections, of course, but this one is what really happened. Now, we're going to delve into your fantastic career. So now we're going to talk about a game that is famous. You weren't playing for the team that it was famous for, but it was against your former club, City. You were playing for QPR. It was that game. Joey Barton getting sent off, Aguero's last-minute goal. There was so much going on in that game. So what are your memories of everything that unfolded in that crazy game of football?
Because it was me, Nadem, and Joey Barton, and obviously we'd all played there before. So we was like, leading into the game, we was like, what is the chances that 3 ex-City players have to play against City to survive, and they need it to win. So
we don't have those odds with Coral, but I'll get them to you.
We were basically like, we could fuck this up, basically. You know what I mean? So we all knew we had to be professional, and we were all professional sometimes. With like Joey does his own thing sometimes. But so we just focused, and we actually went there to win the game. Husey set us up. We had the system we wanted to play, and it was basically soak up as much pressure as you can, and like just spring and hit on the break. And that is basically what we did. And we was in a great position at like 2-1, and was thinking, all right, we're like, it's almost, you get excited to know that you're going to stay up, and no matter what the other happens in the other games, you're safe. And then they just scored, and then the ball went out. They just scored again. So it's almost like, oh.
Did you think he was down?
Well,
Aguero scored?
Mark Hughes shouted to me and said, at the minute, we're fine.
Yeah.
So some of us had an inkling, but then after that, it was like dead silence. So then after the Aguero goal does go in, we're like, we're waiting, and then we found out, and then it just worked out perfectly on both hands, because obviously I wanted to stay up. But at the same time, I was going to ask Man City. Do you know what I mean? In all honesty, as a City fan and someone that played there, and obviously didn't get the chance to help them like lift at that time, it would have been nice to for it to happen to them. I was just gutted. It was like against
football's cruel like that.
So it was just weird. And then this conversation's been the topic since that game. Like every time City have their anniversary, they want somebody that's played in the game to talk about it. Then it always comes up. And some of them I've said, no, I can't talk about it anymore, because my feelings ain't going to change since the first time I said it. But it was just mixed emotion. But on the day, I was 100% professional to win the game and do the deed. And if City didn't win the league, as long as QPR stood up at the time, that's all I cared about.
Have you ever had that, what Sean said, saying going back to a former club where you've got mixed emotions, where it's you're obviously professional, you want to win, but there's sort of mixed emotions. Have you ever had that? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, obviously Chelsea and West Ham are my 2 clubs, and first game back, we played them in the cup. First time I played against them at Stamford Bridge, and it was a night game, and there's about 7,000-8,000. It was one of them where, like, a couple of games you get more away fans, so they took over the whole of the West Ham fans. Like, okay, so we're winning the game 1-0, and I'm taking a corner, and I'm getting dogs abuse from the West Ham fans, you know. And it was the first game, and I'm waiting there. Geezers threw a bottle of Coke at me, and I've gone, Christ, do you know what I mean? Like, so I've just tried to diffuse the situation by bantering him, like picking it up, going, cheers, mate, and drinking it. It's got vodka and Coke, couldn't it?
So you've taken the sip of it before taking a corner?
And him just threw it to the side like that. But
where did the corner go?
I don't know, probably bit the front man, I don't know. So that was that with West Ham. And it happens, it seemed like every time I played against them, I scored, and like, it's hard to control your emotions when you scored against your ex-club, because you got emotions for both ways. But the West Ham fans and the Chelsea fans, when I played, it was good with me coming back as an ex-player. So I was lucky like that.
Class. Right, predictions time, Sean. Going to put you on the spot here. Picked out a few of the games. Want to get your predictions. So not just win, draw, loss, but I want scores as well from you, mate, if that's all right. Saturday's early kick-off, Man United against Leeds. What are you saying for this one?
3-2 Leeds.
Oh, 3-2 Leeds.
He's never going to back.
Wow. Is he? Yeah.
No, I would back them. No, honestly, I'm
if that was Man United against anyone, would you have backed
Man United are playing the dog and duck. Backing the dog and duck.
Dog and duck 4-0.
I don't know. I just think the way that, especially last year, the way Leeds started the season
Yeah.
at Anfield.
Yeah.
And Liverpool were very, very strong that year.
Yeah.
So I just think they just have something about him. And Rafinha, the way he plays, I feel like they got that with Bamford. They will get goals if they get chances.
I like Leeds.
You like that?
And Maguire might not start.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's only just come back.
Yeah.
That's true. And he's crucial.
Yeah.
I'm at the game. I'm doing the game. But I'm gonna go 3-2 the other way, Man United.
Okay.
I think it'll be a
Good
tight
game
game.
either way.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, goals galore.
It's Leeds.
Yeah.
Come on, Leeds are like
That's
if
what I
Leeds
mean.
are on telly, you watch them.
Yeah, it's true.
Big
that.
shout out to Bielsa.
Yeah.
Love him. Hope he brings the bucket this year as well. Like that's
class.
Nick,
And Joe said, if Man United played the dog and duck, would you still go with the dog and duck to win that?
No,
game then?
I'd go Man United to smoke them.
Good. Okay, there we go. Every match matters with Cole, as you know. So Leicester against Wolves. Next up.
After watching Leicester play against City in the Community Shield, I think Leicester.
Yeah.
I think they have enough to withstand attacks, and they're happy without the ball, but they're also comfortable with the ball, and they will score goals. So I'm going Leicester 2-0.
Yeah, Community Shield, obviously, it's for a lot of fans, it's not as revered as the Premier League or the FA Cup, but it's another trophy that Leicester have got, isn't it? Like, fair play to them, played well.
It's another trophy. And Leicester are a very good side. Brendan's a very good manager. I'm with Wrighty there. I think Wolves could have a difficult season.
Do you?
I really do. I think Leicester will win comfortably. I think it'll be 2-0. I think James Maddison, Iheanacho are going to have very good seasons. I think a pair of them.
There we go. Norwich v Liverpool next up, kicking off on Saturday at 5:30 at Carrow Road. Sean, what are you saying for this one?
Liverpool 3-0.
3-0?
Yeah, I think that apart from maybe Van Dijk, because we're not sure whether he's ready yet to actually play, most of their players have all been back. They've had like a nice pre-season. Henderson didn't play that much in the Euros, so he'll most probably start the season. So really, they're hitting the ground running with pretty much a full squad. Whereas anybody else in the top 4 or 5 ain't going to have that, because their players have been away either on the Gold Cup or the Euros. So I think Liverpool will smoke them.
You agreeing with Wrighty on that one?
Yeah, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, fortunately, wherever you look at it. No, unfortunately for Norwich, I don't see the major improvement when they come up last time. I know the manager's very happy with his sign. He just signed someone from PAOK. He's very happy with, but I'd be surprised. But I'm going to go Liverpool, Righty. I think it'll be 2 or 3.
Okay, we can give you the correl odds for those fixtures. Man United are 11-1 to beat Leeds 3-0. So if you fancy 3-0, you get that 11-1. If you think Leicester will win 2-0 and Vardy will score first, Corel will give you odds of 16-1 for that one. And it's 40-1, righty, listen to this, if you think Norwich will come from behind to win against Liverpool, but you don't, do you? So you won't be backing that one. But there's just a few of the odds if you want to get involved. We're going to play the Corel Football Super Series game now, Sean. Spurs v Man City, huge game on Sunday. One of your former clubs, of course. So I'm going to ask you 4 simple questions about the match. First up, first goal scorer. Say simple question. That's quite a tough one, I think, Joe, isn't it? First goal scorer for that one?
It is always. It's a lottery, the first goal scorer, isn't it?
Playing City.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's as simple. That's a really hard question. I'd have wrote.
Who will start? Who will start?
I don't know who started.
I'm going to go Jack. First
Jack
goal scorer.
Grealish, first goal on his...
Can I just say something about Jack and his haircut, Matt? Like,
Please do.
no, because the old one would have Barnett my kids now.
Yeah.
For the whole summer, they ain't even got long hair, but the boys want the Jack Grealish hair, so they had the headbands. Like they're walking around on holiday with a headband stuck on, and they want it properly now. They wanted it like with a shaven down the sides, and I've got to quickly write to the school because are you allowed hair like that at school now?
Don't know. It's a good question. There are some haircuts that I think they advise or they question, don't they?
Like they're both going to a new school and they're going to be rocking up with a Jack Grealish Euro 2021 haircut. So,
can you elaborate on that, Joe? As a parent, what are you writing in that letter then as to why your kid's got that haircut? How are you explaining that? We love Jack Grealish. Is that the letter?
I'm just going to say, hello. Hello. My boys want a Jack Grealish haircut. Picture attached. Is this school policy or is it not?
P.S. It's coming home in Qatar.
Yeah.
It was interesting, wasn't it, with the Euros? A lot of players, the Foden one, you had Jordan Pickford, you had Grealish, a lot of trims that a lot of people are now copying. So, and there is proof in the pudding.
Yeah, that's when you know. That's when you know. When you got a trim that people going to the barbers, that's when you know it's happening. No one ever copied my Barnets, but that's
we're massively divulging, talking about first goal score.
Listen, that's what we do on Nil to Play For. We just we go low tangents.
I love it. So
tangents.
Next question, favourite Barnet? No, it's not favourite Barnet, Sean. Time of first away team goal. Tricky one, that. Time of first away team goal. So the away team is City.
Minutes.
First 5 minutes?
Yeah.
You agree?
I think there's going to be a quick one this year.
Do you? Think City will score in the first 5?
Yeah, can it be any away team?
I didn't. I didn't know you meant just City. I thought you meant
this is
in broad.
for Spurs Man City. Yeah,
Man City.
all of these for Spurs Man City. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I think that might be a tighter game because Nuno's going to go.
It's going to sit back,
and the players will buy into that early on because it's Man City, and you know you have to go with a back five and be cautious. So I think that might be late in the game now. I'm going to go second half.
If he does what Mourinho did there, where Man City just pummeled him for like the whole game, and they had 2 chances and just scored 2 goals. Because they have the quality. They have the quality up there to do.
Yeah.
Want a minute, Sean? Want a minute? Go on, give us a minute.
Yeah, sorry, there's another one. Sorry. Harry Kane's back training yesterday. Does he put him on the bench?
He plays. I bet he starts.
You bet he starts?
You think he starts? Oh, wow.
Mate, I don't know. If Daniel Levy's thinking we might get 150 mil, you ain't paying him and he's pulling the half.
But I don't think he actually cares about that.
Do you not reckon?
No, I just think it's more of like a power play from Levy for me. We want you to stay, so this is what my manager wants, so I'm digging my heels in as well.
And thinking of digging your heels, I've been producer in my ear, a minute for the first goal, Sean.
All right,
first
I'm
away
still going to go
goal.
6. I'm going to go 6.
6th minute.
Yeah.
Wow, that is an early goal. How many yellow cards? Do you see this being a feisty game or slow start? Because it's first game back. How do you see this one?
Højbjerg starts, and further, there's going to be a few yellow cards if them 2 are playing.
There'll be some late ones, wouldn't there?
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, for sure.
Them 2 are playing.
There'll be some.
And Rodri as well.
Yeah.
They will get booked.
First game of the season, people are usually fired up.
Yeah.
It's a good bet, actually, I think. Yellow cards, red cards, first game of the season.
I'm saying 6.
6? Okay.
Maybe less than that. I'll go 5. But
there we go. And if you want to get involved at home, you can play by heading to coral.co.uk. Answer questions correctly to win cash prizes. We'll knock up a leaderboard next week, Joe, as well.
We encourage responsible gambling as well.
Yes, we do.
We do.
That's a very good point. We do encourage responsible gambling. Exactly what Joe Cole said. Leaderboard next week, mate. So all these predictions. So we've got Sean's now. This is why we're pressing for a minute. I was very specific, but I'm very specific on the corners. Because if he gets it right, top of the leaderboard. To be fair, if he gets them all wrong, he's still top of the leaderboard because he's our first guest.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how many times do I come on? Because then the lead, once I go to the bottom,
can come
there's no way back up, is there?
Right. You come whenever you want, fella. You're welcome anytime.
There we go. So that's almost all we have time for. Sean, did you enjoy it? Being back with your mate again?
Yeah, it's all right. He's got a lot more grays than before.
Thanks, mate. Mate, you should see my beard.
I'm just saying, Coley, I got some up there.
No, right, you still look 25, so I'm like...
My uncle asked me the other day, I was at a family function. I didn't think, I had a few drinks. It was my cousin's 43rd birthday. And he said, there's a lot of snow up there, isn't it? So I went, where? I didn't realise he was talking about my greys, did I?
I think you're both looking very well.
Thank you.
That is it, Joe. Great first guest, wasn't it? And a good mate of yours. Finally, your best memories of being with Sean. To start and end the pod, talking about our guest, Shaun Wright-Phillips.
Best memories, but listen, Shawnee was and is the fun guy to be around. Let's say that. We whenever there was a night out, Shawnee was first one there, last one to leave, and we had some good times. We had a good time. Arctic Monkeys concert.
Oh, that was
I love the Arctic Monkeys.
Well, this is what do you remember? We was playing, and I don't know if I had the tickets. You had the tickets. It was in Bournemouth. We went.
No, you got them because you knew the guys, the manager.
Yeah. So listen, I got tickets for Arctic Monkeys. Right, he's like, yeah, I'll come. So it's me, him, his mate Shorty, a few of my pals, and Delorno, right? We signed Delorno. No word.
Delorno,
yeah. No word of English, right? I thought he's sort of sitting in between us. I went, Del Boy, do you fancy it? He said, he's like, que si, Mr. Fortino. He's like, where's he from? He went, yeah, I'll come. Like, he just loved it. Like, he was by himself. So we took him, drove all the way down there, had a drink, like that. He didn't like the Arctic Monkeys. The concert's on, and we just left him at the bar. and he just plotted up with some Chelsea fans.
Wow.
For like 2 hours. Didn't even see a guitar at the concert.
Wow.
Like God, I know we don't speak no English, and he's just there, just like he loved it.
Wow.
Yeah, he absolutely loved it.
I think that's the perfect note to end it. Sean, thank you so much for coming on. Of course, you can find us on Joe YouTube channel, and the podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts from. That was All To Play For with me, Smithy, Joe Cole, and Shaun Wright-Phillips. Brought to you by Joe and Coral.
You've been watching All To Play For, brought to you by Joe and Coral.